Hello, and thanks for checking out another video. Today I'm reviewing a Marvel comic, because I'm still chugging along through my sci-fi novel at the moment, which is Neil Stephenson's Anthem. Great novel, my first Neil Stephenson, but that's to come hopefully soon. I'm about 60% done with Anthem, loving it and really going through that. But in the meantime, for content on this channel, I also recently finished the series this week, which is Marvel's G.O.D.S by Jonathan Hickman. Now, the quick preface to this is I'm a huge Hickman fan, like most people that read comics are. He's a great writer. I got introduced to Hickman through, of course, Secret Wars and reading the lead up through Secret Wars on Marvel Unlimited app. Specifically, my favorite parts of that was the whole Fantastic Four run, the FF line with Hickman at the helm, and then leading up through the incursions and then into Secret Wars. But the FF line was amazing. I rediscovered a love for Fantastic Four through Jonathan Hickman. And so I saw this in the Marvel Unlimited app. I recently had looked for the next series to read, and this was on my to be read list forever ago. So I said, okay, what the heck? Might as well give G.O.D.S a shot. It's Hickman, so it's going to be good. And after finishing issue 8 of this limited series, I don't really know what to say with it. It reminds me of the book I'm reading, which is Anthem, which is a sci-fi novel where I'm also in the dark of what's really going on in the larger world. And that's kind of how I felt reading G.O.D.S. You're thrown into this world with Wynn, the main character, who is an avatar for the powers that be and the natural order things. So you've got these two cosmic entities dueling through their avatars, which are Wynn and Aiko, who they have a past. And it's one of those great stories like current movies are, where you're dropped into the middle of an existing subplot. You learn about Wynn, and he has memory erasure, but you're never quite unsure of what he lost. He has a past relationship with Aiko, and now that she's working for the opposing faction, they can never be together, but you can tell, of course, that Wynn still loves her, and there is love from both sides there, even though they're both trying to fulfill their duties as avatars or centivars. So there's a lot of world building, and that's what I loved, and maybe that's why it reminds me of one of the other. Anthem reminds me of G.O.D.S, or G.O.D.S reminds me of Anthem, because there's so much world building in G.O.D.S. There's a lot going on. You're dropped into this mystical magic versus science battle, which I've never really been exposed to in Marvel Comics. I've read my fair share of Marvel Comics, especially through the Marvel Unlimited app, where I read a lot of series. And I knew a lot of things, such as reading the Immortal Hulk series. You learn about the Green Door, reading some of the cosmic entities through various series, such as Null, who's, through the whole nullified takeover that happened to me a couple years ago. So I've got hints of the larger cosmic world outside of kind of the big world people like the Living Tribunal, who makes an appearance in G.O.D.S. So I'd been exposed to this, but not to the extent that we go in this series. That's what I did like about this a lot, that it really focused on an aspect of the Marvel Universe that's not really explored as much on its own. These are entities that are always in the background, such as maybe in Ultimates 2, I think was the one where Blue Marvel and they're on this cosmic battle of order and chaos. So things like that, you do get glimpses of it here and there. Galactus isn't in here, so again, speaking of cosmic beings, he's not here, but you do see a lot of other beings that I was not as familiar with, like Cubix Core and the In-Betweener, as well as the powers that be, the natural order things, which are concepts that I wasn't as familiar with. So in that sense, it was a great series, and being 8 issues, it's worth checking out for sure. It's not one of these long commitment series where you're going to have to slog through dozens upon dozens of issues to get the little bits here and there, which admittedly a lot of series have a lot of filler issues. It feels like sometimes that don't really add to the main plot, but being only 8 issues, it does wrap up. I don't know why I say nicely, but it wraps up. There is an ending, and it definitely leaves the door open for a second series. So I am invested enough to want to read volume 2 of G.O.D.S if it ever comes out. But this is Hickman writing at its core. It was really well written, lots and lots of world building. There's so much to explore. Every character felt real. They had their own motivations, and you explore those motivations. So there were little side detours here and there to learn about the backstories and some of the events leading up to our main plot that's running through the series. So that all said was very well written. Probably would give it a 4.5 out of 5. It was good. Maybe not 5 out of 5 as Hickman at his prime, which would be the lead up to Secret Wars, which was just amazing. But it was really good. A return to form for comics. I haven't read a Hickman comic in a while. I guess unless you count X-Men, which early Krakoa was really good. The initial Krakoa, I really like the initial Krakoa age that Hickman wrote. Obviously, of course, it kind of got a little long in the tooth, the whole series, but early X-Men was good. That was definitely Hickman at top form. This is, you can see those hints there. It's not 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, but it's probably, like an 8 or a 9. So it's probably a 4 or 5 out of 5, 4.5 or 4 out of 5. So still a really good series, really well worth it. It didn't leave you overly satisfied at the end, but it was a good journey, and exploring that topic that's not really dealt with a lot, being the larger cosmic powers in Marvel, made it a more interesting read, if not for the characters, which are well written. So all in all, maybe a 4.25. Yeah, I'm debating between a 4 and a 4.5 out of 5. But great series, worth picking up. Jonathan Hickman's Marvel's Gods. Great series. Do check it out. And thanks for watching another video on this channel that's not books, but it's comic books. So have a great week. See ya.